Welcome back to the Sun and Moon Tarot. Today we will find what is good and what is hidden. I hope you're well and staying blessed, enjoying life wherever you are. This is going to be an earth sign read for Cancer season. If you have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, highly aspected, this read is likely for you. You already have cards falling out while I'm finishing my intro, which is not normal. But that's okay. It happens. Not everything has to be the same, right? Normal doesn't have to be normal. It's all good. Okay, so I definitely did my intro, but I have a little bit more to talk about. We're using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and then also we're going to use the Dreams of, I like to show that one so you can look it up if you want it. You can look it up on your own. The Dreams of Gaia Tarot deck will be the secondary guide that we'll do at the end. Another card. Ooh, Earth signs, you got some. I like the energy. Okay, so we do have 5 of Wands in reverse, the 10 of Pentacles upright, and the 9 of Pentacles. We're going to use the Rider-Waite Tarot deck per usual on my channel. Oh God. I'm actually going to pause this because I just got the King of Swords in reverse, and that is not a fun card. So let's finish. I'm going to finish my intro before I pull any more cards because I was not expecting that energy, and we're going to have to talk about it. All right, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying life. I hope you're enjoying summer and the beautiful growing season that it is. Cancer season is a water season, and also it's baby water. It's the first, we just had summer solstice yesterday. I'm filming the day after, and so we're in the shadow phase, and it's 100% summer outside. It's beautiful. I hope you're enjoying it. Yep, I hope you're loving it. I hope you're enjoying it. Mercury retrograde is a bit of a bitch right now. Excuse me if you don't like my cursing. I don't curse a lot on my channel, but it is what it is. Sometimes I do. And I think I forgot to do some of this shit for the fire signs. Oh well. If you're worried about it, Mercury retrograde is a big deal. I mentioned it for Virgos because Virgo, of course, shares Mercury as a ruler with Gemini. So my Virgos, if you're struggling through the season, it's gonna be okay. We got this. I'm sending you love right now. Okay. If you don't know, Mercury rules technology and communication, so those things are not grounded in terms of energetic connection, and therefore there can be glitches and mistakes, and just all kinds of things can act erratic and different than they're supposed to. And sometimes there aren't a lot of logical reasonings actually for it. There should be, because it's Mercury. But that's just is what it is. So you got this, no worries. And if you're a Cappy or a Taurus, that warning is not nearly as applicable to you because you have different rulers. So back on track. If you would like to book with me at all earth signs, you can do so at the email that's listed in the description box on my channel. Yeah, Rider-Waite Tarot deck begins again. I know I already mentioned that this is Cancer season, so I do 3 rows with the Rider-Waite deck. The first row is your recent past, the second row is your current energy, third row is your future. We'll grab a couple clarifying cards to finish off your read, and then of course we'll grab at least one of these specialty cards. I think that's it. I think we're there. Okay, so I was all pumped about you having the 5 of Wands in reverse because upright, it's not a great card. I'm gonna double check. I assumed it was great down. Yeah, it's avoiding conflict and respecting differences, which will bring a lot of benefits to you. I obviously have not pulled all of the cards, so I don't have the theme card for your read yet, but that's interesting that you have that. And then you have the full flip the next row with the King of Swords in reverse. Not a good card. It's manipulation and cruelty and it's just the opposite of logic. Literally being weak because you don't have answers and you're just in your ego or some shit. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get into the read before I give you any more information. It's just not a fun card. Okay, anyway, Page of Wands follows the King of Swords in reverse, followed by the Queen of Pentacles. Your Queen, at least, and you have 2 court cards of your element appearing, which I like. That's good for you, I hope. Hope you like it too. Now, this is actually really good news. I know that it looks super, really, like, super duper weird that the King of Swords is in reverse in the current energy, and the Queen of Swords is upright directly underneath of him in the future. But it's actually a good thing that she flipped, that she's upright. It's actually a good thing, because if she were down, if she were in reverse, I'd be like, y'all, you need to warn your own brain, because whatever is going on is going to be real bad. Okay, Earth signs. So I'm trying to focus on grabbing a couple clarification cards as well before we finish. I'm almost done. Boop, boop, boop. There you go. Ooh, love this. Always love when the Empress appears. That is the Taurian card as well. So the Taurus card is in your read, the Empress. And the 6 of Swords is also your other clarifying card. We're going to leave it at 2. I think it's funny that you do have the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck. If anybody's guilty of stalking, this is a shout out to you with that card. It's supposed to be a funny joke, but it legit, you'd be shocked how often that card represents stalking in my personal reads. Like, seriously. Okay. So, sorry, I got off track because never mind, it really doesn't matter why. I did get off track, and the reasoning doesn't matter. The Page of Swords is curiosity, restlessness, mental energy. I'm sorry, I'm chuckling. Literally, if I think that somebody is like following you, or if I think I'm being followed and I ask and the Page of Swords is the answer, it's a 100% fuck yes. I just think it's really funny that it's in your read. But it's also, I didn't ask that question, so it's just funny. Anyway, the Page of Swords is also like really just being curious. Like the curiosity of a cat, right? To the point that it makes you like legitimately restless, and all you can work with is mental energy. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that in a way where you're like very focused on logic. Okay? That's what they mean when any reader says mental energy, they're literally referring to the energy, the alchemical energy of air, meaning logic. Fair? Okay. So you also have, I did not notice that. I noticed, of course, that you had 2 earth court cards, but you do have 3 air court cards as well, which is interesting. And plenty of major arcana earth signs. We dig that. Okay, so in the recent past, I do like that you do have that Page of Swords as a clarifying card. So it's being very focused and curious, again, on that energy we already talked about. On how fully to avoid conflict, to create potentially wealth, potentially to grow a business, potentially to grow networking so businesses can grow. It's avoiding conflict and respecting differences regardless of what they are, because you recognize that really doesn't matter anyway. For most part, a lot of things that people do that are not the same, or not what people like to define as normal, really don't matter. It's really not the end of the world. And so if it's something that you can work with in the recent past, you're going to be very focused on that. You're going to be like, okay, this is something we can just respect each other's differences on, and we can still work together. We can still benefit from each other's ability to create hard work, efficiency, and also be like very responsible together. And it's a very positive energy flow in the recent past. Okay, now we did already talk about that King of Swords in the upright for your current energy. Or, I mean, excuse me, the King of Swords in reverse in your current energy. There you go. So you also have a double page. Huh. You also have a double page. Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, so again, the King of Swords in reverse is manipulation. It's you or someone being manipulative, cruel, and weak. It's someone being not very necessarily logical, but being dominative and like almost acting like a disciplinary person, and manipulative due to that, being cruel and weak because they're not being logical, right? Again, if this is you, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to describe what the card means. Or you're dealing with somebody like that. The Page of Wands is the upright, is exploration, excitement, and freedom. The Queen of, I like that. The Queen of Pentacles, of course, is practicality, creature comforts, and security. So for most of you, this is going to be you dealing with someone that's like this. And regardless of them being very manipulative and cruel and weak, regardless of their status, they are, it's something that you're going to be able to like, yeah, for some of you, it's going to be literally transmutation, where you transmute the energy and you take it and you say, okay, whatever you sprinkle on me is still going to create growth in my life. And you then therefore use that energy to not only be like very, because remember, the Page of Swords still applies for every row, so you're still experiencing that cat-like curiosity, okay, about anything that's happening in your life, right? With the Page of Swords, okay, you're gonna be restless and consumed logically with dealing with any of these things that happen. So whoever this is, and that is manipulative or whatever in your life, the Page of Wands is probably going to be experiencing true freedom, either from that person or gaining the ability to get like you might even have like creature comforts and abilities to create other forms of security outside of that relationship that appear and create. I'm using the word practicality because it is the definition of the Queen of Earth, but I also want you to think of it as it's being not just practical, but also like I'm sorry. Apparently that doesn't matter. It's completely gone. I'm so sorry. It's completely gone. The thought's gone. It's retrograde, and I'm actually a Gemini, so unfortunately my communication is sometimes off. I was chattering about the double page, and like overcoming that person that's manipulative. So you might be, oh right, you might just be, in terms of practicality, I gotcha. You might literally just be like focused on how to deal with this situation or thing in a way that you still are able to get like your creature comforts, you're still able to create, you're still able to get whatever it is done, even in wherever the environment is that person or thing is being cruel or weak or manipulative, or all three. Although it's going to be something that potentially consumes your mind, and you're still able to be practical. It's not going to redirect your energy to a place of ungrounding. You're still going to be able to remain grounded, regardless of how cruel they are. It's just something you're going to have to deal with probably. So in the future, you have the Queen of Swords, the Tower, and the Five of Pentacles. Oof. Okay, so the Queen of Swords is going to be a representation of complexity, perceptiveness, and clear-mindedness. She's the Queen of Logic, right? The Queen of Air in terms of alchemy. She does like literally appear with true discipline, truth, and logic. She's very perceptive. There's not a question in her mind, and this is you having to appear this way in the future as the Tower appears, because the Tower is going to be a major change in your life. It might not be a bad one, right? The Tower can be just any type of big, huge manipulation, or excuse me, I just said manipulation. Sorry, foundation is the word I'm looking for. That's why I laughed. It's definitely not manipulation. Is not the correct word. Foundation. It's a foundational shift. Okay, something huge in your life, and sometimes it's also disaster because of that shift. Sometimes it's also true upheaval. If you look at the card, how the people are literally being thrown out of the tower as there's a storm. So I hope nobody experiences that, but yeah, it can literally be that experience. But like a lot of readers like to put that one out there, but I don't like to read the Tower card as a doom and gloom card. It can be disaster. It can be you experiencing a true upheaval in your life, but it can also just be a foundational shift, which was necessary for growth. However, this card is followed by the Five of Pentacles in this read. That card does represent need, poverty, insecurity, and low resources. That could be something that you have to adapt through in the future, and you will with the clarifying cards. There might be like, shoot, I don't want to say this to anybody, but it can be a representation of job loss. It can be a representation of money loss. It can be a representation of having needs through this time of change. Excuse me. And being perceptive and clear-minded about why certain things had to potentially happen the way that they happened, regardless of I'm not trying to be mean, but like this is with the Queen of Pentacles, it is creature comforts. It's having excess. It's having the ability to almost check out logically when you don't want, that's not in this read, but it could be. If the Devil were paired with the Queen of Pentacles, I would warn you about that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're using materialism to create escapism in your life through whatever manipulative situation you're dealing with where there's cruelty present. However, it does mean like that it's the opposite experience, right? So it might be, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Earth signs will always make money, and it will always flow to you. Please don't think that this is like a definite sentence of low resources or poverty for your future. It's not, and you're going to overcome it. It's just a warning that you might potentially want to not overdo it in the Cancer season. You might want to be focused on potentially keeping your resources just in case for a rainy day with that future row. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I mean. Okay, there we go. Well, that's what we're gonna leave it at that, because there's going to be major change that's necessary in the future, and you're going to be very clear-minded on why it's necessary, and there's not going to be able to be a go back for whatever it is, and whichever dimension of your life it is. I do not know. I'm not trying to tell you what it is because it's a general read, so it's for many people, but it's the experience for Earth signs. So a lot of you are going to be going through this major change at the end of Cancer season, going into Leo season potentially, or during Leo season. And with the Six of Swords and the Empress being your clarifying cards, that's what I meant by there will be a swing around. Like your money's gonna get right again really quickly. so that I don't want you to think this is like a sentence of poverty where you'll never have any money again. That's not what this does. It's just like a warning that there's going to be some potential changes that require you to shift money and not overspend. Again, I'm not trying to say that any of you are guilty of like using materialism to escape, but just potentially think about putting funds away just in case you need them. Or you're going to go through a little bit of loss, which is also okay, and you'll be all right. You'll overcome it. It'll be good. Don't worry. The Six of Swords is transitioning away from like whatever loss this is. Okay, whatever changes, whatever ends, whatever door closes, the Six of Swords is literally moving on from it. It's leaving whatever it is behind, literally transitioning in terms of life, so that you're not dealing with whatever that was anymore. And the Empress is a great card to follow that up, right? The Empress is beauty, fertility, nurturing, luxury, and creativity. It's potentially you embodying these things as you deal with the change, right? It's for some of you, Earth signs, this is literally going to be you coming in to like major change in your life, where things where you might have once viewed yourself as a queen. You're not going to see yourself as the Empress because you really have everything figured out after you overcome whatever this challenge is. It's going to set you off differently. A lot of people don't like to see change for what it is, but it's necessary. And regardless of any minor setbacks that you experience, like I said, the table will turn, and therefore the transition is necessary, the change is necessary, the door closing is necessary, because the doors that are going to open for you are going to be ones that you actually do really want to walk through. And you're not going to want to have to deal with whatever this is, where you had to close a door while you're also trying to walk through new doors. If that makes sense, I hope it does. You're going to want to have grieved and dealt with things and found grounding again before you move on, potentially. If this is romantic. This is not necessarily a romantic read, so yeah, it's going to vary for everybody. But Earth signs, ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that you're going to have a great season. There's going to be a little bit of drama in the middle, and you're going to have to adapt a lot at the end, but you're going to enjoy the changes that appear after that. It will go well for you, Earth signs. I am praying for you. Okay, your clarification card. Okay. Oh, wow. So, if I remember correctly, this is air. This would be the 8 of air. I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I don't think I am. This is, which means that this is the 8 of swords in terms of the Rider-Waite deck. So by definition, this card would mean that it can be self-victimization, it can be entrapment, and it can be imprisonment. Ultimately, this clarification card matters because it's telling you, like, you beautiful Earth sign are the maker of your world. And if you stay around things that are, there you go. If you stay around things that are like manipulative and cruel, and you don't close the door, you will stay in a place of victimization, which you are unfortunately putting yourself there if you don't walk away from situations that are unhealthy, right? You are the one that needs to walk away to create this complete transition in your life. You have to embrace who you are becoming, not who you were or the people that were in your past, but who you're becoming and the people that are in your future. And this is very important to you, not only in the current energy, but probably for the next couple of years. This is going to be a big deal for you because you're going to be focused on a cycle of transitioning away from anything that creates, anything that takes away from your ability to create, instead of allowing things that would create manipulation, cruelty, and potentially even weakness in your life. You're cutting any of that out. People that do that out people that create those things out. You're not giving second chances because you're not trying to be in a place of self-victimization with that energy. I love it for you. I hope you enjoyed the read. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you have any further questions, please feel free to email me in the at the email that is listed in the description box. You can always also comment if you want. Okay. Have a beautiful season, Earth signs, and I will see you in the next read.